The collapse of the investment bank Lehman Brothers triggered a wholesale financial meltdown and recession. And just months after, the country elected its first ever non-white president. The combination of those two seismic events was fundamentally altering the country's politics. For Donald Trump, who by now was a Republican again, this transformation looked like bad news. In 2010, he was introduced to the director of a documentary about the financial crisis. His name was Steve Bannon. Bannon was a microcosm of the evolution of conservative politics. He'd been an investment banker for Goldman Sachs. From there, he pivoted into media, where he ended up becoming the executive chairman of Breitbart News, a bomb-throwing right-wing news organization. At Trump's luxury penthouse apartment atop the tower that bore his name, the two men talked about how China was ripping off the United States. It was just like Trump's old diatribes against Japan, updated for a new age and a new rival.
In the United States, a majority of Americans say the country is on the wrong track, and no segment of the electorate is more frustrated with the U.S. government and President Barack Obama than the folks driving the Tea Party movement.
The Tea Party is hard to define because it doesn't want to be. It's anti-big government, anti-liberal, anti-Barack Obama. But after that, the lines blur.
The Tea Party movement was partly inspired by a backlash to Barack Obama, but it was also an eruption of anger about issues that had been bubbling up under the surface for years: federal bailouts, corporate welfare, and government overreach. Dozens of Tea Party activists ran against establishment Republicans in primaries, and some even went on to become senators and members of Congress. Despite the massive amounts of energy generated by the Tea Party movement and major gains in the 2010 midterms, Republicans didn't have a candidate who could channel that energy. Lots of Republicans wanted to vote for someone who wasn't afraid to throw a punch, someone they knew and liked, and someone who wasn't afraid to say some pretty outrageous things. Who would be their champion?
We're going to win so big. Thank you very much, everybody.
In early 2011, Trump spoke at CPAC, a high-profile Republican conference.